Post-match analysis for Chat with Chaps, where it's just finished at the Den. Millwall 1, Burnley 0. Another win, another 1-0 win, another 3 points, up to 7th in the table, just 2 points off the playoffs. 5 unbeaten, only 1 goal conceded in that time. And it's just, I mean, let's keep it coming. Today was as Millwall, as Neil Harris as you can get. A 1-0 win against a bigger side. Neil Harris in his post-match said it's like had a bit of a cup final feel to it. A 1-0 win, a Jake Cooper, a one moment of quality. It did, didn't it? It really was, referee sort of giving decisions against us and stuff like that. And that's what it's all about. And fantastic way to finish the week and roll on Wednesday now. Because I don't like the term free hit. I really don't. But like we go into that game now, when you look at Burnley and Leeds at home, you think to yourself, right, we can win one of them. Well, we've won one of them now. And now we've also got more bodies back in the squad that hopefully it means that we can rotate and get a bit more out of this group on Wednesday. And who knows, it's going to be some atmosphere under the lights for sure. And hopefully there's more people that turned out on Wednesday than they did today. Because I thought the crowd was actually quite disappointing, to be totally honest. And everyone has their reasons. Just want to caveat that. I'm not digging anyone out. Everyone has their reasons. It was on Sky. It's a Sunday. But those that were there made some noise. And also, what a day for Remembrance Day. As always, everyone involved in putting that together, a massive well done because it was superbly done. We really come together for these moments, and it's always special. And then obviously to win it to win that sort of occasion was even better. Had the opportunity as well before the game to help out on one of the poppy stands. And you know what? The generosity of the fans at this club never ceases to amaze me. Seriously, it never ceases to amaze me. So thank you to everyone, of course, that came and said hello. Nice to meet a couple of you as well today. Steve, good to see you again, mate. And Tim, nice to meet you before the game as well. Really do appreciate all of the positivity for the channel. I have had a bit of a brief hiatus, as you'll know. I was on holiday. Came back and then also had a bit of an issue with my car last week, which meant that I couldn't watch the game, and it took me in total 19 hours to get to the Lake District and back, but that's a story for another day. But Joe, Steve, Angelo, George, thank you all so much. A public thank you. You did an amazing job, better than what I do, and I just wanted to say thank you. And this is what this channel's all about. It's just about a group of guys coming on talking about the club that they love. No politics, none of that. And obviously doing things for a good cause. So if you're not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. You should see it in wrong direction. That way, there should be a little button there. Click subscribe because everything goes to cancer research this season. I'm really looking forward. We made a good start. I might announce it in a month or so's time. Anyway, let's get on to the fixture, the important thing. So this one was always, to me, and a lot of people said this, and in our opposition preview, George and Natalie, who joined us, who's a Burnley fan, really, really knowledgeable Burnley fan. So thank you, Natalie. If you are listening to this, really good to have you on. 0-0 seemed to be on the cards because both teams don't concede much and they don't score much. So, it was never really going to be like a 3-4 goal game. And they've kept clean sheets in 5 of their last 6, right? So they keep clean sheets. We keep clean sheets. So 0-0 was probably, the odds-on score. But in terms of the team, so obviously Neil Harris made a few changes. There was one change which, I don't know, personally, I would have kept Danny Mack in the side. Obviously, what do I know? Because we went on to win the game. But the team was, and I haven't got the graphics. I just want to get this out because it's Sunday night. Mrs. is cooking a roast. Good on her. So just want to get this out, but we will get all of the normal stats and graphics and all that stuff back very, very soon when we get a bit of normality in our fixtures. Thank you, Sky. But the team was obviously Jensen in goal. Talked about how much of an important fixture this is for him, given he used to play for Burnley. I think he had a half a season there. Back 4, obviously Joe Bryan coming in at left back. Javid Tanganga, Jake Cooper with the armband, right back, of course, Ryan Leonard. in the centre of the park, returning Casper De Norre, match-winning Casper De Norre in the centre of the park after his goal against Swansea. In my opinion, probably never should have been out the team, but there we go. Alongside George Saville, and then the front three, or sorry, the attacking three, if you like, was SA, Aziz, and Honeyman, and then Langstaff up front. Obviously, Aziz coming into the side for Watmore, but an interesting shift with Aziz getting on the right-hand side, and then SA switching to the left-hand side. For me personally, and again, hindsight won the game, it doesn't matter, but I felt SA wasn't as effective today, and I'm not sure if it was because he wasn't played in either of his rightful positions. I think he's either a 10 or he's good on the right cutting in. But Aziz was very good, and we'll talk about him for sure. So I felt a bit for Danny Mack coming out the side. But one big thing I noticed was the bench, the quality of the bench. You know, to have a front four available on the bench. You know, this is before Tom Bradshaw and Billy Mitchell can get back fit in and into the squad. But to have a front four of Mihailo Ivanovic, Josh Coburn, Duncan Watmore, and Adamo Maka all on the bench, I mean, unheard of, right? And certainly a lot of them came on and played their part to close the game out. But obviously, game kicks off. They have an opportunity on, I think, the 4th minute. I thought Jensen saved it, but he obviously didn't because it hit the post and goes out for a goal kick. We then have a decent chance on Langstaff, on 11 minutes through Macaulay Langstaff. Ball's played over the top, sort of controls it, manages to get the shot away. Probably should do better or have the awareness to pull it back. That was probably our kind of sort of, was it our biggest opportunity in the first half? Probably. No, it wasn't. It was the biggest opportunity until the very end of the first half with all the added on time. On 13, this Koleosho, who, again, the Burnley fan that we had on in the week, said that he would be the most dangerous player, and I thought he was. At times, he had so much space on his right, our left. He cut inside, fed the lad, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, number 37, Andreas something. He was described someone who looked like he won a pub competition to get in. I don't think he was that bad, but you could certainly tell he was raw. Had a shot. He had a couple of shots from distance, but that's all they really had. But they certainly looked comfortable, as Harris said in his post-match, and they certainly looked like they had, you know, the ascendancy, and they were certainly the ones pulling the strings. We have a penalty appeal on 20 minutes, which I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it back, so I can't really comment. And then they have a supposed penalty appeal on 40, which for me wasn't. It was a free kick for sure. Saville had hold of his shirt for ages, but he had his hold of his shirt, you know, for about 10 yards before it got anywhere near the box. But I felt that the first half was very stop-start. Gavin Ward always is a very... I just don't think he's that good at being a referee, and it's nothing to do with. At times, I thought he was biased, but I don't think he is biased. I just don't think he's a very good referee, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, and then they have no. First of all, the linesman, very odd. He sort of just seemed to go down out of nowhere. Looked like he'd been shot. And of course, right over by those Millwall fans, we're always going to give it to him, aren't we? So some quite, I think, amusing, if you take it in the spirit that it's intended, chants towards him. He, you know, trudges off after 5 minutes or whatever. And a new linesman comes on. But that meant that, you know, I think we played to 52, 53 minutes. And we had two very, very good chances on, 51, 52, but of the first half. The first one was, I can't remember who put the ball into the box, but Macaulay Langstaff does superbly to sort of arc his body, bend his neck, and fire a header at goal that's going into the top corner. It probably just didn't have just enough pace, but it was such a good header from Langstaff, and an equally good save from Trafford in the goal. just the £20 million goalkeeper that they've got there that's been in the England squad. And then from a corner, Aziz has another good chance where it's always rising, but it's really close. He takes it really well. And I'm really pleased for Femi Aziz because I thought he was really good again today. I think he actually got the official man of the match from Sky. Not for me. Very good. Not for me. I'll tell you my man of the matches in a little bit. But again, really good opportunity. We kind of that sort of sees the first half out, and we finished it in the ascendancy. I felt, we really grew into it. Interestingly, as it always happens at Millwall, as the referee kind of got more and more whistle happy, shall we say, and potentially giving decisions against us, that's when the crowd come into it, and it kind of helps us, it ignites us. So thank you, Gavin Ward, because you always bring that for sure. And it's like, could we continue that momentum into the second half? And for me, we did. We absolutely continued it. And I think the first, and Harris said this, I think the first sort of 15, 20 minutes of the second half, we were excellent. And against a side that I would describe as patchy. I think they're in a slightly false position, if I'm being honest, and the Burnley fans probably listen to this would agree. They're patchy. They have some areas where they are easily a top 2 side in this league, easily. But with the players they've lost, I'm not so sure they are 1 to 11 a top 2 side. They've got some gaps and they've got a few injuries. Sarmiento obviously came on, he's been injured, and Lyle Foster, and obviously no Zian Fleming, who was there today watching. So that was always a nice moment to beat him. In fairness to Zian, he spoke very highly of his time at Millwall. So and look, he's made the club money, and we have to become a better selling club if we're ever going to progress. But anyway, sidebar. We continue the momentum. Aziz involved again. I'm 47, but then this is the one moment of real quality in the game. So Aziz has got the ball on the right-hand side, and you see him deliberately looks up, and Cooper's still in the mix. I think they had a corner or something. I can't quite remember. And you see him look up, and he delivers an inch-perfect ball towards the back post, and Cooper with a superb header, an absolutely superb header. He does fantastically well to get it right in the corner, nowhere near. Trafford's not getting anywhere near it. The place erupts. It was a super goal. And you know what I absolutely loved as well about that assist from Aziz is I honestly don't think a couple of weeks ago even attempts that cross, because I think he's a real confidence player, and you can see him growing in confidence all the time. I then felt our towels were up. We had a free kick come to nothing. I'm sick and tired of saying that. Our free kick taking this season has been pretty much abysmal. Another nearly moment where Casper plays an outstanding ball to Aziz. And if he could just lift his head up and play the ball early and low, Langstaff, he gets in the right positions, Langstaff. I'm telling you, and I know this might be a bit of a weird thing to say when we're not even anywhere near finished this season, but I'm telling you, next season, Langstaff's going to score bundles in the Championship. He needs a season to get used to it. Because at times in the first half, he was a little bit isolated, and it was quite a physical game for him. But he gets in the right positions all the time, and he was in the right position. But unfortunately, Aziz couldn't get his head up and couldn't find Langstaff. Then we get to the hour mark, or 62, and they make a trouble substitution. Jay Rodriguez coming on, getting to the tail end of his career, can't quite do 90 minutes anymore. The returning Sarmiento, I think they're on loan from Brighton. And I think he was at Ipswich last season. So, good player at this level. And Hannibal, who they got from Manchester United. I don't know if he's on loan or they paid $6 million for him. I can't remember. But I felt that definitely helped them gain a foothold in the game. And for me, it was, I just didn't want us to sit back too much. And it initially looked like we were going to. But then we make some substitutions of our own. There's a bit of a clash of heads between Tango and Joe Bryan. Joe Bryan is then taken off, probably as a precaution, hopefully. And if I'm honest, at that moment in time, I would have made the same sub, because Joe Bryan was carrying a booking. They just brought Hannibal on. Joe Bryan on a booking up against a fresh, pacey winger. I just didn't want to see it. So in hindsight, I don't think Harris was making that change, but I think it was the right sub to make. And obviously Danny Mack comes on, and a word for him. I think whenever he's been in the team this season, he's been excellent. So well done to Danny Mack. But we make our treble substitution. Ryan Wintle comes on, Duncan Watmore, and Josh Coburn. I felt a little bit for Ivanovic because obviously, he's played a real important part. He scored the equaliser against Derby. He then was involved in the goal for Kasper's goal at Swansea. So I felt for him the fact that it was Coburn that came on and not Mihailo. But my gut feel tells me that is because, could be something to do with Wednesdays, but it's probably more just to do with the fact that Coburn's experience, although he's still very young himself, but slightly more experience in these situations. And I think really what Harris was just trying to do was just basically keep that intensity of press and that kind of defensive shape and diligence towards the back. And that's pretty much what happened. And I think it's, I can only note here one moment on 92. We have a decent-ish effort that goes over the bar. We had an effort from Denor on 81 minutes when it looked closer, but it was actually quite wide. And then, a couple of balls into the box. I remember Hutch winning a free kick when he had come on at this point, where he sort of, just threw himself into it and won a free kick. And then we won a few more free kicks at the end. I don't know what happened with Danny Mack at the end. I don't know if anyone can fill me in, but he seemed to be involved in something. I think it was with Koleosho. And we see the game out, and it's just fantastic. It was kind of one moment of quality, but really, Burnley, they only had one shot on target. Did Jensen have a save to make? We had the better chances. I'd love to see, and again, I know not everyone's a fan of this, but I like to gauge roughly by XG. And I thought we were pretty comfortable. The first 20 minutes, they dictated the game, but after that, there wasn't. And just a word for these lads, because there's no doubting that Burnley are a better team than us. There's no doubting they've got more quality. But just the effort, desire, the passion, the mental, the mental ability to hold that shape and to see the game out, and some of the effort from some of the lads like George Honeyman, just chasing the ball down in, on 92nd minute when you've already played probably 100 minutes of football. Like it's just, that's what this group's all about, with a bit of quality as well, right? With the likes of Romain Esse, Aziz in the last few weeks. Japhet Tanganga is just an absolute joy to watch at a centre-back. He reads the game so well, can bring the ball out, passes. And in my man of the match today, Kasper Denor. I thought he was just everywhere. The amount of first contacts he won, I don't think he misplaced a pass. He just gets around the pitch. I dread to think the amount of kilometres or miles he's done today. I thought he was outstanding. I thought everyone was good. But I thought he was in particular outstanding, to be honest. When I looked through the team, I thought Sav had a good game. Obviously, Cooper got the Millwall man of the match. He played very well, scored the goal. When I looked through the rest of the team, Leonard was fairly solid. Joe Bryan was really involved in that first half, like heavily involved. It all seemed to happen down his side, and there were some bits that he did that was outstanding, and then he would do something outstanding to give the ball away. So Joe Bryan still blows hot and cold for me, but overall I thought he was decent. I don't think it was Rom's best game. I think he gave the ball away a few times, but he's gonna, right? He's gonna. I think he just needs to learn to release the ball. And you could see Saville bemoaning him at times, but look, Rom is probably the best player at the club, and he's not going to be here for long. So just let him crack on and enjoy it, as long as it doesn't cost us. That's my kind of caveat. And then a little word for the subs. I felt they came on and did their job really well. A word for Ryan Wintle as well, because Ryan Wintle, I doubt very much, I could be wrong, but I doubt we're ever really going to sign him permanently. He's come down from Cardiff. He's hardly played. But yeah, when he does go on, he does do that Millwall job of throwing himself into tackles, pressing. I don't think he's any better than what we have. Obviously, he started on Saturday. But yeah, I think it's worth just mentioning that, he's unlucky. Why should he necessarily do all those bits and bobs. He must be frustrated, right? You know, he's getting 5 minutes in, 5 minutes there. So it takes a lot for someone to do it. So fair play to him. But everyone to a T, I thought was excellent, really. And as I say, my man of the match, Casper De Norre, closely followed by Mr. Tanganga. As Harris said in his post-match, that was a nice warm-up for Wednesday, wasn't it? And it's going to be some game. Leeds are a very, very good side. Let's make no mistake about it. It's a unique rivalry. Neil Harris is... It's almost like a weird week, isn't it? Where it's kind of, you know, like today was such a Neil Harris win. And of course, Neil Harris has such a history with Leeds. And he will be wanting to do everything he can to ensure that we give a good account of ourselves. We certainly don't want a repeat of last season where they beat us 3-0 and we went down without a whimper at home. But anyway, that's it for me. Thanks again, as always, for listening. Please, 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 I keep getting this wrong that way, subscribe to the channel. We are doing everything we can to raise as much as we can. The subs have slowed down a little bit, so would really appreciate it if you're not subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything, and obviously it just helps the channel with the algorithms and stuff like that. And the more views, the more subscribers, the more money we can make for charity. So it's all a good thing. I'm going to come up for breath. It's 21 and a half minutes now where I've just spoke and, you know, one take free flow. Hopefully that was okay. Delighted to be back at the den. Delighted to be back recording. You know, really enjoy it, especially when we win. It's even sweeter. Thank you as always for listening. Much appreciated. Enjoy your week. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye for now.